Hey guys, it's Jen again. I was gonna watch Pretty Little Liars, but I just looked at my camera roll and I realized that my rapid fire book tag is literally 20 minutes long. So I'm gonna try this again and make it way faster. Even if I don't go in depth to the things, I'll try to be as fast as possible. So here we go. Come on, scroll to the top. Ebook or physical book? Physical book because I love the feel, the look, the smell, everything. Paperback or hardback? I skipped that question last time. I prefer reading out of a paperback, but I like collecting hardbacks because of how they look. Online or in-store book shopping. I prefer both because I get lots of great deals from both. I like being in bookstores, but online shopping is sometimes more convenient for me. Trilogies or series, and also cheaper. Series. Heroes or villains? Heroes. Book you want everyone to read. I want everybody to read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. This is just such a good book for all ages, and I recommend it highly because it's such a great story and you find yourself totally entrapped in the fantasy world that it's just hard to stop. I love it so much. Recommend an underrated book. I'm going to recommend Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. Everybody constantly rags and trashes on this book, but in reality, if you gave it a chance and actually read the writing, it's a really good book. I mean, sure, the stereotype of it is, cheesy, but her writing in this is really, really good, and I recommend to just try to get past the stereotype and read it because it really is a good read. The last book I finished was Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. I love this. It was 140 pages. It was a nice little read. It got me out of my book slump, and now I'm about 140 pages into Cinder by Marissa Meyer. So yeah, I really appreciate this book. I love Alice in Wonderland and everything to do with it. The last book you bought. The last book I bought was technically the shipments coming from Book Outlet in a couple days, but if you want to be technical, the last book that I bought in my possession is Pretty Little Liars by Sarah Shepard. I'm not really going to say much about this. I already read that series, but I wanted to collect it because... reasons? Why not? Because why not? I wanted to collect it because why not? Weirdest thing you use as a bookmark? A penny. I've used like coins as a bookmark if I had literally nothing else. I hate dog-earing the pages. I won't do it. So I use a penny. Use books. Yes or no? Yes, 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 yes! This is used. This is used. This is used. And so is this. These are all used books. I basically live off of used books. I love used books. Top 3 favorite genres: fantasy, mystery or thriller, and like sci-fi, or maybe a little bit of romance. I don't even know. Mystery and thriller and fantasy and sci-fi for sure. Like, I don't know if sci-fi and fantasy fits into its own category, but borrow or buy? Buy. Because I don't do well with borrowed books. I either forget to give them back, I get library fines, I just buy the book. Characters or plot? Characters, because if you have really great characters but a crappy plot, people won't be able to help but fall in love with the characters and forget all about the plot, even if it's a crappy one. You just have to fall in love with characters, and if you do, it won't really matter what the story is because people will be so in love with those characters. That sounds like your story doesn't matter, but like in reality, I'm just saying that if you were to have a really, really good plot but really crappy characters, people would have a hard time getting through it because they wouldn't have those characters to latch on to and figure over. Long or short books? I like big books and I cannot lie. I mean, I did just read this little 140 pager and then I read smaller books, but I do like a bigger read. It makes me feel good about myself. Long or short chapters? I prefer short chapters because it helps me get through the book easier. Like if there's long chapters, like I have a book that the chapters are each 50 pages long and I can't get into it because the chapters are so long. But Cinder, I started it today and I'm already on page 150 because the chapters are so short and I love it. Name the first 3 books you think of. I'm going to think of not books that are in front of me. The Problem of Miracles by Wendy Wonder. The Probability of Miracles by Wendy Wonder. Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Page. And Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth. Why do I always say Victoria? Books that made you laugh or cry. The last one that made me really, really, really cry really bad that I remember very vividly was the last book of Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare. It was so bad. I'm not even being dramatic when I say I almost had to be hospitalized. And I'm not being dramatic because I had a really bad sinus infection. And this book had me crying so bad that I physically could not breathe through my nose, or my throat was blocked. So I was just like gasping for breath. I could not physically breathe because my nose was so plugged that when I tried to sniffle in, I sniffled in so hard that I gave myself a throbbing headache and almost passed out. It felt like there was cotton in my head and like I couldn't breathe through either of my airways. It was horrible. Horrible. Our world or fictional world? Fictional, because Harry Potter and Percy Jackson. Who wouldn't want to be in those worlds? You get magic and powers and you get to fight bad guys. I would just, yeah. Audiobooks, yes or no? No, I haven't read an audiobook and I just prefer reading the words. Do you ever judge a book by its cover? All the time. I won't buy a book if I think the cover's ugly. Like, I will only buy a book if I really love the cover. Or if I just like the cover. I won't buy a book if I don't like the cover. Not at all. Book to movie or book to TV adaptations? Movie. Because while they slandered the Percy Jackson series, I know it makes me want to physically hurt myself how horribly they did with those. But they did a really amazing job with the Twilight Saga and the Harry Potter series. They just did an awesome job with those movie adaptations. I don't know where I'd be without those. A movie or TV show you prefer to its book? That would be Pretty Little Liars and The Vampire Diaries. It's not because the books are bad by any means. They're good if you don't really think of them as being related to the TV shows. I don't know if it's because I watched the TV shows before without knowing that they were even based off of books. I had no idea until after I watched the shows, or while I was watching the shows. But I just like how the shows represent the characters, present the characters. I like how some of the characters are presented more than I do in the books. And that's all I'm going to say about it because I could rant about that forever. Maybe I'll make a separate video about it and delete my 20-minute rapid fire because, see, last question, 9 minutes. I win. Because last video, it took me 20 minutes to get through this tag. Why? Because I talk too much. I'm sorry for that. Series or standalones? If you're talking like a light contemporary or just a regular fiction, a standalone. But if you're talking like fantasy, I prefer it in a series because fantasy needs to be more in depth. But contemporaries, it's usually really easy to just wrap up within one book, and I don't really like reading a whole series of contemporaries. No. So yeah, looks like that's that. This challenge was originally created by Girl Reads, maybe? I don't even know. But if you like this video, please like and subscribe as per usual. I always really appreciate it. I really do appreciate you guys just sitting here and watching me talking about books all the time. I know it must seem boring, but I mean, hey, I do it with other booktubers, so why am I calling it boring? Probably because it's me, but you know. Yeah, so if you actually took the time to watch this video, thank you. I always appreciate it. Yeah, and if you did take the time to watch this, please like this video and give me a subscribe to keep up with all my future videos, which the next one will be Book Outlet Haul. So, thanks guys.